Hey guys, welcome back to Satisfactory Let's Play. I think this should be episode 12. Last time we set up our first plastics factory, and while we were off camera, I did this. So we set up that, the one that's under the cursor right now, we set up that one. And we've got a little container of plastic going on down there. And then I came back and I set up everything else you see. Now, this is currently balanced to allow 100% output. Well, it allows as much output as these can produce and get rid of all of the petroleum coke. So in other words, there's no waste. This is set up as a no waste factory. Now, what you will notice, I'm going to show you in a second, is not all of those plastics factories, there's plastic and rubber down there, not all of them are producing at 100%. The plastics are producing at actually 25%, and the rubber are producing at 75%. I could fix that, actually, by putting more refineries in to produce the fuel necessary, and I can't even remember the name of it right now. But what you will see is there is a constant stream of plastic and rubber going out down to the other end. Now, we're not using it at the other end, but we do have one container of each being stockpiled in our container room down there. And both at the other end and at this end, I actually have awesome sinks set up to take the excess. And again, we don't have smart splitters yet, so the excess really is just splitting the stream in half and taking half away constantly. And if one side of that stream fills up, and in fact it did, right? On the other end, the containers are filled up completely. So the entire stream at the other end is going into the awesome sink right now. And I actually did set up a second awesome sink down here to take part of the rubber away. And I'm probably going to get rid of that actually right now, or at least turn it off for the moment, because I think I really want the whole pipeline to fill up back to here. So to be honest, I guess I'll get rid of the other end so that we'll fill up the whole pipeline back to here. And then we'll start drawing it off at the awesome sink. So we've got more available in our backlog when we actually start using it. Those last two refineries that you see there, those make up 100% of the oil coming out of the ground from that pure node right now. And right now I'm saving those for packaged fuel, but I don't have the containers to make the packaged fuel yet. We need to actually complete some of our hub objectives, or at least one more of our hub objectives in order to get that. So we'll go down and just take a quick look. Everything's set up exactly the same as the last episode, the one that I showed you. I just duplicated it. And here you'll see that we're making rubber, and we've got 30 crude oil per minute coming in. And we're constructing 20 heavy oil residue per minute. That's, well, we're constructing 20 rubber per minute, and that's giving us a waste product of 20 heavy oil residue per minute. So if I put 20 heavy oil residue per minute in here, that's only 50%. So we're, instead of outputting 120 petroleum coke per minute, we're only outputting 60. And that's not really a problem. What that means is, we're getting 100% of our rubber, which is what we really want. But we're only getting 50% of our byproduct. Now, we've been able to take that byproduct and turn it into something useful. And those are coal plants, but they're being supplied by this petroleum coke that we're making over here. And if we take a look, we can see that our power output, so our consumption is only 600-ish megawatts. The big factory down there is turning on and off as it does. But we actually have a capacity of 2,350. We're producing 2,100 now. And I think that's pretty much split half and half between the coal down at the other end and the petroleum coke up here. Because we put, what do we put? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah. We put 12 new power plants in up here, and that's just to get rid of the waste byproduct from the plastic and the rubber. And if we take a look at the plastic output, so this is what we built last time, and there's the container. And I only have this container up here just in case I need to grab some plastic up here, but really it's all going to be down at the main plant that I'm using it. So for plastic, again, we're taking 30 crude oil per minute in, we're making 20 plastic, which is 100%, so we're getting 100% of our plastic out, but we're only outputting 10 heavy oil residue per minute, whereas that's taking it into a refinery that actually needs 40. Now, I could have been more efficient here, and actually I could remove several of these. I could actually pipe all of the oil residue together, and to be more efficient, I could just put them into one refinery and actually give it 40 per minute, which would output 120 petroleum coke from one instead of 4. But to be honest, I like how this looks. There's a bit of the OCD in me, obviously, and different people are, going to have it different ways. Some people want to have the most efficient possible. Everything's going to be 100%. My buddy Chris is like that. Everything always has to be at 100%, and I respect that. But for me, I just like having them all lined up like this. It just, I don't know. It's just the way I work. And one thing to note, what I did have to do when I first started this up, because these are using 100% of what is output from here, I was actually getting massive power fluctuations in the power plants because it wasn't coming out fast enough to make sure that this always stayed constant. And there's another issue with actually how I've done the belts, because if you do one belt, I originally only did the bottom belt that you see here. I added that top belt later. And what happens is it starts stockpiling up to 200 in that first one, and then it starves the rest, and then it starts stockpiling in that second one, and then it starves the rest. And I was getting massive power fluctuations. So what I did two things. The first thing I did was I took the output from these last 3 off, and I sent it, so it actually is going back in halfway down the line there. And I might have done it one too far, so I'm going to have to check that to make sure I haven't actually started starving that one before it. And then the second thing I did was I put an extra plant in here, and I actually fed a lot extra petroleum coke into the system for a while, just to make sure that we buffered all of these back up to 200 petroleum coke in the in the plant itself. So all of these should now be filled back up to 200 petroleum coke. The only one that I might be starving would be this one, but I'm looking at it right now and it's backed up out, so we're good. So these are all running at 100% efficiency, and they are taking the coke, they're using the coke as fast as those can produce it. So those are going to produce as efficiently as possible. And then these are always going to give us the electricity we need. So it all works. And as we expand, and this is all off of one pure node. And I can't even remember if I overclocked that pure node. Let's go look. I may or may not have overclocked that pure node. I honestly don't remember. think I probably would have. I probably should have. I didn't. So that's even without overclocking the node. We're getting out 240 oil per minute. So if I really need to... That's interesting. It's only going out at... Oh, right. It's only going out at 74% because I don't have those last two hooked up yet. Once I have those last two hooked up, that will use the rest of the oil necessary to bring that up to 100%. So I didn't even need the overclocking. And then the other great thing about this that makes this so much easier is this is a power plant that is almost 100% built over the water. So I can draw up my water from directly underneath where I need it, and I don't have any of the real problems. It looks kind of ugly down here, but like I said before, out of sight, out of mind. There's our awesome sink, and we've got 600 coupons in our awesome sink right now. And you remember I was talking before about that 1,000 coupons to the next, or 1,000 points to the next coupon. This is probably 75% of the way to the next coupon, or maybe even 80% of the way to the next coupon, and we still have another 40,000 to go. So it goes up rather exponentially. We are inputting 8,388 coupons per minute right now, just based on I think it's just the rubber and the plastic that's automatically going in both here and down the other end. And like I said, I'm very likely going to take off the plastic up here, and we're going to sink it in down there, and I'm going to cut the sink at the other end so more will back up in that factory line there. So we just have more resiliency available to us in the system. It gives us a little extra time to start fixing things, because this is the point where you're going to notice that you will very, very often either have too many or not enough. And there's very often not an in-between from the too many to not enough. So any time that you've got extra to notice that there's an imbalance there and go and fix it, the better off you're going to be. Oh, and the other thing that I did here, I colored this yellow and I put the railings here because as I was walking across a couple of times, I got sucked in. So I can walk across here and I can stand here and not get sucked in. But if I go just that little bit further, it sucks me in and sends me down the other pipe. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, if I turn my camera angle around and then press the W, it will actually turn me around in the pipe and send me back out the other side. So if you accidentally get sucked into that pipe, you can get back out. It's not a big deal. Just a bit annoying and sometimes disorienting. But I did actually want to go down to the other end and just check things out. And so, bit of a oh, did I just see? Yeah, look at that. We picked that slug up the other day, that power slug there, and we picked that power slug up, I think, too. So the power slugs came back, and I think I just saw one behind the thing here. I could be wrong. But if you guys remember correctly, one of the things that we can now, or one of the things that's on our objectives, our hub objectives, is gas masks and gas mask filters, and that will let us go out into that poisonous gas area without dying and pick up those slugs. Like the last time I had to run in, grab them, run out, and I was almost dead. That's because I'm really trying to pick up more power slugs this time and try and use the power shards more. I've got 29 power shards here. So yeah, I'm trying to definitely use more power shards. And I suppose the last thing, we're going to probably have a short episode here today, guys. We'll just take a look and we'll see if I'm pretty sure that we're all filled up on the both the plastic and the rubber. But then we're going to actually take a look at what we do with hard drives. And hard drives, if you remember correctly, are what we pick up from the crash sites. So there's that red handle on the door that you can pull, and it opens that door, and there's always a hard drive in there. We're actually gonna use one today. So yeah, we're filled up here and we're filled up there. So and if you take a look, there you go. Our conveyors are fully filled up. In fact, all of our conveyors look like they're filled up for everything right now. Yeah, so we got a good backup of everything here right now. So everything is coming off. The fact that you see those conveyor belts out there moving means that everything's coming off down here somewhere and going into an awesome sink. And I'm going to cut that, and I'm going to let that conveyor belt fill up. So that, oh, see, did it by accident. I tried to get cheeky and cut it too close, and I did it by accident. So I'll put this in here right now. Oh, maybe I should actually get the hard drive first. I'll just drop those in there for now. I'll put two hard drives. So if you go up here to hard drives and you just hit scan hard drive, it takes 10 minutes to scan the hard drive. So I'll show you the results of that on the next video tomorrow. But this is what's going to give you your alternate recipes. And the alternate recipes can often be quite good. Have we actually talked about that already? We might have talked about that already. I could be going senile. Who knows? I'm getting old. And then the last thing, just before we go, at the start of the next episode, I will do this. So that's it. Thanks for coming out, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.